Yeah. Thank you very much. Now you can perhaps understand why I say I'm honoured and paranoid in equal measures to be AWF chair. And I know I'm riding on the shoulders of giants, so I can claim no expertise today other than being a seasoned warrior, which is turned up to 11 before any discussion forum. I haven't a clue why, because I think today was an excellent event and it did exactly what it said on the tin. All the people here share one thing in common, and that we're passionate about animal welfare and its science, and let us not forget that. We've heard from experts about how we can get our messages across. Welfare can only progress if we're able to disseminate our message successfully. The days of saying, I'm a vet and you'll obviously do what I tell you, have long gone, and frankly, it never worked when I was in practice. Technology, as many say, we're in the midst of the next industrial revolution happening at lightning speed. What is its impact going to be on welfare? What are the unintended consequences regarding animal welfare? But likewise, what are the real benefits we must embrace? We must grab these. For me, it was the ability to maybe get prediction, therefore prevention, which I think we've all talked about there. How can we get prevention? And as professionals, we must have control and not drown in data. I remember in practice going to these farmers with their milk records piled high up on their table, never opened them. Data is only useful if you use it and know how to use it. And this bit hasn't been written by ChatGPT and probably would have been better had I done so. Environmental sustainability, diet and animal welfare. As the OIE definition of welfare shows, welfare is part of a complex web, and on top of that, climate change represents the biggest threat. What are we doing? What are we personally committing to do? We do need robust information and leadership, knowledgeable leadership. And what role should animal welfare professionals play in this? I thought it was a very thought-provoking, and it's very good that people will take opposite stances on this. That's exactly what the discussion forum is, and I thank them for that. The discussion forum always gives me food for thought, if that's not a crass analogy, and this session certainly did that. Lightning talks. I hope you found this concept worthwhile. I hope it's to our credit as a profession and this forum that we are a safe space to allow all views to be heard. I'm not sure many other professions would do that. So thank you, Malcolm, Vanessa and Alice. And Malcolm organised a Thames walking event to raise funds for animal welfare, and he promises me he's going to do it next year, but an even bigger event. And thank you to Emma and Ellie for your research updates. Ellie, this was a hard gig for a student. Absolutely brilliant. And finally, we've heard from those who via AWF and BVA got the ball rolling regards animal welfare, the curriculum and research, and whose careers have and continue to have real impact on animal welfare here and abroad. It makes us proud. We have funded 2.3 million into 60 research projects in UK institutions focusing on improving animal welfare across all species we treat. We need the hard yards of scientific rigour, reputationally, and because it gives evidence to other bodies and authorities. It helps move the dial, as you have seen. And it's difficult to know which examples to highlight because there's so many. Way back at the beginning, a garden bird health initiative, a collaborative project looking at diseases taking its toll on garden birds. This was the originator of the now Garden Wildlife Health Project. Brilliant. The Delphi project, as everybody's mentioned here, the consensus approach. It's used by us. It's used by BVA in setting our priorities. It's used by many other institutions. It's moving the dial with evidence. Recently, the assessment of animal welfare impacts in the wild Norway rat management, co-funded with U4, possibly the greatest anthropogenic impact on wild animal welfare, helped evolve BVA policy, cited as evidence in both our and the Scottish governments. It's moving the dial with evidence. During lockdown, we didn't want research to stop. Hence, we had desktop researchers, basically working from home. One wonderful example was exploring motivations and behaviours of UK owners who acquired puppies during lockdown by Rowena Packer and the RVC. This research has informed further in-depth human behaviour change projects. It's been a catalyst. One beauty of AWF is we're small, we're agile, and we get things moving quickly. The discussion forum. Is it self-serving banter amongst a few liberal elites? Well, I'm happy to be labelled a liberal elite because, no, it informs us, and the dials are moved. Sean's too polite to mention that he did an impassioned speech here once that led about the wild caught parrots trade. That led to the BVA taking it up, that led to the Europe taking it up. There's a ban on that EU-wide. Isn't that just brilliant? Issues about overtreatment now being taken on by others, including the Royal College. The link between domestic abuse and animal abuse, that was one of these, led to Link project, and gene editing has been mentioned. Whatever we discuss, we come away as professionals better informed, moving the dial with evidence. So it's our 40th and we're allowed a bit of a midlife crisis. You have seen where our money goes and what true impact it makes. Over 3 million spent to date. We're all acutely aware of the financial difficulties around us and we're not ineffective. We're having to take the foot off the gas as our fuel warning light is just beginning to flicker on. It's our profession's welfare charity. It's set up by the profession, for the profession and the wider profession. And I'm sure you've seen how prudently our money has been spent, and the need for AWF far from diminishes. Many are under the misconception that BVA funds us. They do not, and why should they? Charitable giving is the individual's choice. So please help us to continue, whether via donations, legacies, introducing us to potential donors, or people we can work with or jointly fund with. Anything, but we need to start refuelling soon. Anyway, it's blubbery Oscars time, but unlike the Oscars, this is heartfelt. Today would not have worked so brilliantly without our excellent speakers and chairs who gave so freely of their time. We're truly in your debt, and I'm sure you want to show your appreciation in a normal way. Thank you very much. Yeah. Likewise, our generous sponsors. It's truly altruistic to go and sponsor an event such as this. So I must thank you to Pets at Home, Agria, MSD, NWI, Animal Health and Purina. I do hope you enjoyed the event and want to do it again, so thank you. And of course, it wouldn't have worked without your participation, and that has just been excellent. So thank you very much. The paranoia will continue for a few moments afterwards. Thank you to the BVA for your support. I trust you can now all see why this collaboration is useful and the synergy we get from it. And my fellow trustees for their tireless and enthusiastic work on shaping, then working to make this forum happen. They do far more than any normal trustee would do. High Frequencies, thank you. You're great to work with for filming us today. And lastly, please give us your feedback. It really helps us understand the value of this event and make it better every year. As I said at the start, it shapes our future topics. So you'll be sent a link in our follow-up email. You can also find the link on our Twitter feed. And if you fill in the survey, we'll add you to our raffle for a free 2024 discussion forum. And please keep an eye out for post-email events with your CPD certificate. And lastly but not least, there are two people who are at the heart of AWF, our staff and unsung heroes. The two of them, where are they? Whilst they're helped by BVA, and again thank you, they run the whole show, work tirelessly in the background, making sure today works and is successful, as well as managing research, finances and so on. They're the whole caboodle. Our communications marine, who's only recently joined us, so this was a baptism by fire, and Erica Singh, our manager. So many plates to spin, so much jelly to juggle. I, on behalf of the trustees, can't thank you enough. Stand up so we can put a face to the name, and I'm sure you take a deserved round of applause. Thank you. Yeah. I trust you'll sleep well tonight. Safe journeys home for all of you leaving us now. If you are going, could you leave your badge for us to collect? Somebody's at the door. And then I will see the rest of you shortly. Thank you very much.